If you've been injured in an auto accident in Massachusetts, the laws are very different than they are in other states. Massachusetts is what they call a no-fault state, which means even if you are at fault in an accident, if you rear-end someone else, let's say, your insurance company has to pay for your medical bills and lost income up to $8,000. The only requirement is that you are driving or you're a passenger in a car that is registered in the state of Massachusetts. Now, some of the issues that we see with this, however, is sometimes some of these insurance companies will do what they call IME, independent medical exams. They will send you in to one of your doctors shortly after you're injured or a few weeks after you're injured often. And in my opinion, over the course of the years, I don't feel that some of these doctors are independent or impartial. I've seen people that are injured seriously and they go in for these IME, independent medical exams, and the doctors say there's nothing wrong with them. So that's an issue that we have to deal with. But don't be alarmed. We know how to deal with the insurance companies if that happens. Another thing you can collect for if you've been injured in an accident in Massachusetts is you can collect for pain and suffering and scarring and permanent issues such as residual pain or permanency from the other driver's insurance company. Now, what is pain and suffering worth? That is not an easy question to answer. It depends, really. If a person has a broken leg, most insurance companies will pay more money for that case than they would for someone who has what they call a soft tissue or whiplash injury that a person recovers relatively quickly. So the extent of the injury is really the key factor. But if a person has the typical soft tissue injury, back or neck, and is trying to determine how much their pain and suffering is worth, generally what insurance companies will do is they will look through your medical reports and look through what the doctors say about your pain and suffering, what they put in the reports as far as your range of motion, as far as other objective findings when they examine you, and then they look at periods of total and or partial disability. If the doctor indicates that you're totally disabled from a soft tissue injury in a car accident for 8 weeks, then they're going to pay you more money during that 8-week period for pain and suffering. And then after you're no longer totally disabled, but you're still in pain, they consider that to be partial disability, and they will give you less money per week. But again, it really depends on what the doctors put in your reports. That's why when we work with a client, we pay a lot of attention to those medical records as they come in. And we call you once a month and go through your medical treatment and make sure you're happy with your doctors and that you are recovering and that the doctors are accurately filling out in those reports your pain and your suffering. Another thing a person can collect for is what they call residual pain. Sometimes a doctor, after several weeks or months, will discharge a person, basically stating there's nothing more they can do for them. And if they put in a report that that person has residual pain, in other words, from time to time they will have pain, then that's something the insurance company will look at and give us more money for pain and suffering. So if you've been in an accident in Massachusetts, feel free to give us a call. There's no fee if we take your case until we settle your case, and we also pay for expenses during the course of your case, for medical records, investigative reports, police reports, any costs during the course of your case, and we get those back at the end. So, thank you.